If you're an entrepreneur in BC, sign up for Canada's Trade Accelerator program and extend your company's global reach. We help you scale up, develop, and activate an export plan designed to grow your full export potential. The Trade Accelerator program gives BC-based businesses the training and support needed to become a successful exporter. Go to www.wtcvancouver.ca/tap and find out more.
Welcome to Canada's podcast, the #1 podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs.
Write and grow rich. How and when to use a book to supersize your wealth. What I found is that entrepreneurs often face building blocks in growing their business. And one of these blocks they miss out on, their golden nugget. You know, that treasure that's often buried deep inside you. You've heard it before. You know, Simon Sinek calls it your why. Stephen Olsher calls it, what is your what? Even Marie Forleo says, greatness doesn't come from what you do, but who you are. And when you apply your greatness to what you do, you absolutely can supersize your wealth so it's off the charts. Position yourself as a go-to expert in the industry. Stand out from the crowd so you don't have competition. And then get new customers coming to you on autopilot. This is Angela Fay, host at Canada's podcast and founder of FutureBuild, the #1 accelerator program for entrepreneurs who want to future-proof their wealth portfolio while amping up community impact. I recently met someone who not only believes this, but lives this shared belief today in what she does. I'm super excited. Speaking with me today is Kimberley Day, speaker, impact coach, and author of what we're talking about today, Writing and Grow Rich, how to use a book to supersize your brand, your business, and your bank account. So before we tap into Kimberly's story, I just want to bring an awareness to what we're talking about and some of the problems. And Kimberley, join in here with me today. Let's just highlight this problem. Like, seriously, you have a product or you're a professional, you have a service offering, you find yourself an event, you know, maybe there's 5 others in the room doing the same thing, you know, 5 lawyers, 5 insurance brokers, 5 mortgage brokers. What's your experience here?
These days, it's now sometimes 5 social media content experts, or I was at a meeting literally yesterday. There were 3 VAs in the group because right now, since everybody's moving online and entrepreneurs are wearing so many hats, this whole idea of hiring a virtual assistant is a big one. And they're very, they're very handy to have. But literally there was 11 people in the room and 3 of them were virtual assistants. So what makes me hire one virtual assistant over another?
Exactly. Or you've got like you said, you have it a homogenous, there's 5 virtual assistants in the room or 5 mortgage brokers. Then you have a homogenous offer, right? Like, hey, I have a life insurance policy, or virtual assistants, for instance, offers say, you know, I can save you 10 hours a week, you know, that type of thing. I mean, how many homogenous offers have you been offered?
Right. Well, I mean, and it's the same thing. And it's not necessarily about, everybody talks about having a unique selling proposition, but perception is reality. So if the public perceives that you sell life insurance and you sell life insurance and you over there sell life insurance, then you're just a life insurance salesperson, right? And for 13 years, I was a financial advisor. So if you can like roll back to when we used to be able to go to live networking events, I was always one of like a dozen of the financial advisors in a room. So the struggle.
And then one more of the struggles, right? And I apologize, I just cut you off, but one more of the struggles is, okay, so you finally get somebody enrolled in a conversation on selling, you know, advising, financial advising. And then you find partway through that process and dealing with your client that you're just not enjoying work with them. They're not your ideal client, right? What have you experienced?
Well, yeah, for sure. I came to realize I don't like working with engineers. They're not my perfect target market client. They challenge everything. They have 80,000 questions. And not that having 80,000 questions is a bad thing, but like they suffer from paralysis by analysis. They just don't make decisions. And I don't want to work with people like that. So
And we've all found ourselves in positions, we all have, right? Everyone listening and joining us in this conversation today has found themselves with at least one horrible client, right? That you want to fire.
Oh my God. Yeah. Or punch in the face, like I so lovingly put the other day, which that doesn't get you anywhere. Doesn't help you make any friends.
Well, and really all of these problems that we've just kind of highlighted that we can all relate to have one thing in common. And I think I describe it as you haven't really harnessed your golden nugget or your greatness in who you are. And so, Kimberley, I really just want to delve into your entrepreneurial story a little bit, because this is your story. You are perfectly placed to tell the story. Tell us a little bit about writing and growing rich and how your book came to be.
Oh gosh, so that is a long story. It's an interesting story, but as I kind of alluded to before, or maybe I just said it right out loud, I was a financial advisor for over 13 years. So I was, and I lovingly call this, I was on the income roller coaster. So if you can relate to this, or if anybody listening can relate to this, I would have great months where I was making good money. And then I would have months where I was like, oh my God, I'm going down. And like, where's my mortgage payment going to come from?
Mm-hmm.
Like we said before as well, I'd be one of a dozen financial advisors in every networking meeting. So, and especially in the world of finance, where that's a longer sales cycle because people don't open up about that kind of topic matter right away.
Yeah, for sure.
I was also a female in a largely male-dominated industry. And we are blocked a little bit from our, securities commissions and industry professionals on what exactly we can say and how our communication is rolled out. So we have kind of the handcuffs put on, if you will, a little bit with respect to our marketing. So writing the book for me was something that I did to be able to elevate my branding, to be able to position myself as a thought leader or an expert in my space, and really to blow my competition away, because I wanted to, like, when somebody's looking at doing business with me versus, Joe on my left or Mary on my right, I'm the only one sitting here with a book. Really does help me stand out from the crowd and rise above the crop, if you will.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that, because for me, very rarely would I invest big money. And I say big money, like you say, in finance or in finding a business coach or somebody in insurance, because things like money, insurance, these are lifelong commitments, right? I mean, it isn't very often that you pivot and change providers. And so, I actually am looking for tools and gifts that I can read for me to understand what is their vision, what wealth are they providing, and what value are they providing in the world, not just their product or service, and who are they? What are their values? These are things I'm looking for when I'm, being intentionally in relationship with people, especially in business.
Right. And do they know what they're talking about? Are they an expert at what they do? And I think back to the days when I was a financial advisor and who I was following, who were my role models, who were my mentors in the industry. In Canada, of course, I was looking to David Chilton, the wealthy barber. I was looking at Gail Vaz-Oxlade, Till Death Do Us Part. In the US, I was following US gurus as well, like Susie Orman and David Bach and Robert Kiyosaki. And if you think about whatever industry you're in, and think about the people that you follow, and I'll almost guarantee you 99.9% of them are published authors. Almost all of them are multi-published authors.
Right.
So it lends people that instant credibility.
Now, speaking of multi-published authors, this is not your first book. What was your first book?
My first book was The Financial Fitness Playbook.
Okay.
The ultimate guide to winning the money game. And it's funny because when I first published that book, I also had this bigger, higher vision and plan to write a series of books. So the first one, The Ultimate Guide to Winning the Money Game, was going to be followed by The Millennials Guide to Winning the Money Game, The Baby Boomers Guide to Winning the Money Game, The Couples Guide, The Single Parents Guide, The Entrepreneur's Guide, you name it. You could then create a series of books to target and really niche down into those markets you want to work with, because something else I've learned in business, and you've probably heard of the expression, is that the riches are in the niches. So this is
no question. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is something that positions you not only with credibility and expertise, but positions you as a specialist instead of a generalist. And think about, like, does your family doctor earn more money, or does the surgeon earn more money? Does the dentist earn more money, or the orthodontist? So
Right.
by being able to be perceived as a specialist, you can also start charging more money for your services, because people will pay more and they want to work with specialists.
So how do you know, as we're talking to people and you're working with clients now, because now you've transitioned out of being the advisor and focusing on niche, the finances, and working with people in creating their own book. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, the results were so transformational. So I literally, when I published the Financial Fitness Playbook, within 12 months, I doubled my business and my income. So these were transformational results for me, for my business. The problem is then I kind of had a conversation with myself and was like, was my struggles and challenges really all about marketing? Yes, they were partially about marketing, but also they were about, I didn't love my business.
Right.
So imagine walking up to the door and knocking on somebody's door, trying to sell them something. And you're like, do you really want to buy this thing I'm trying to sell you? Like, people feel your energy. If you're not in it 100%, people feel that. It's like, it gives off a vibe. And I figured out that I just was not passionate about dragging people along to do what's right, to buy insurance and like to invest for the future. Because quite literally, we live in an instant gratification world these days. And people want to drive a BMW and live in a bigger house and go on vacation and eat out every Friday night. They don't want to invest in insurance.
Right. Right. So so now what are you doing?
So now I live in this amazing bubble of a world where I get to help people, which is what I was still doing in the world of finance. But now, instead of helping people where I'm dragging them along, like to make the decision, I'm helping people that want to help themselves, people that are excited about growing businesses and being successful in their business and unleashing their greatness in the world and what they do, and being able to leave a legacy and help more people. And by writing and publishing a book, you get to achieve all of these things, right? You get to, like you mentioned, you don't have to work with clients you don't want to work with, because you're attracting better clients into your business because you've decided who you want to work with and you've written a book that speaks right to them.
Absolutely.
And you get to create a bigger legacy by helping more people, because if you can get your book into the hands of many more people, even if they don't work with you through your services or product offering, you've still given them a piece of value.
Absolutely. Right. You're creating value at every step. So my question, on behalf of those who aren't sure, how do you know that you have a book in you?
Well, I think everybody has a book in them. I mean, and that might seem really cliche, but quite literally, most of the entrepreneurs I work with started their business because they were passionate about something that they did, or their life journey led them to be an expert in what they do. And if you are teaching something that you're passionate about, if you're working in subject matter that, you arrived at, so I'll work with lots of, for example, people in the health industry. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that are working in the health industry is because they overcame some sort of a health challenge or crisis themselves, right? Or they lost 100 pounds. So now they're teaching people about weight loss. Or, for me, I wrote the book, had the transformational results, and now I'm teaching people how to write the book. Yeah. So if you're working in that type of a space, you 100% have a book in you, because you can teach other people how to have the same transformational results, but all the while you're helping yourself.
And related to that, there's always this question, which comes first, the following of readers or the book? And it's kind of this, chicken and egg thing. So my question is, when is the right time to write a book?
Well, the best time to have written a book would have been, before you started your business. However, the next best time to write your book is right now. So the chicken or the egg conversation I have all the time, Angela, it's so true, because I get people have the little voices in their head. They're like, well, I've only been doing this for a year, so who am I to write the book? Right? Or it's going to be hard, or, oh my God, that sounds like it's going to take too much time. So I call these little voices in your head your itty bitty shitty committee. And we all have them, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm here to tell you, really, writing a book is quite literally the fastest, the easiest, and the most profitable asset you will ever create for your business if you're already working in the space.
So can you give me share, if you could share your own story, but also maybe one other sort of compelling case study of somebody that you've worked with where the results were transformational again?
Absolutely. I love to tell the story of one of my clients, and Angie. She's so great. So Angie came to me. She was in a network marketing company, and she came to me with help. She's like, I feel like people just perceive me as, the stay-at-home mom who's, peddling this product matter. And I'm like, well, that's fairly insightful, because I think a lot of stay-at-home moms, and I'm not saying stay-at-home moms are not a good thing or network marketing is not a good thing. And there's a lot of people that have been profoundly impacted with the network marketing industry. And I think it's a fabulous profession, but there is that sometimes perception of negativity in that space. And through our work together, we were actually able to create her a 6-figure income by not just writing the book, but also creating the program around what the book was. So instead of just selling the product, she was also selling, the coaching and the training and the leadership and the mentorship and the accountability alongside of the product just became one module of what she was teaching. And I mean, it was incredible. Her story was incredible.
And I think that naturally comes where you start with an idea, you have a product or service. And whether you're a traditional business, like, selling tires, selling jewelry, offering an oil change might be perceived as traditional versus knowledge-based, which is you're a profession, you're a lawyer, you offer insurance, things like that. Those are, a transactional product. And then post-writing a book, you realize that a lot of people need different types of support. So you end up creating more of an experience in working with you. Would that be a fair assessment?
100% fair. She was, I'll just say it. She was selling essential oils, but I found out through my conversation with her that the reason she had stumbled upon essential oils was through this journey where she had her first child and went through postpartum depression, but she didn't really know it was that. And she didn't want to be on any kind of medication that doctors just prescribe for you. So she had gone and done yoga certification and fitness certification and nutrition certification, all in search of healing for herself.
Yep.
And then the essential oils, where she felt the fog finally lifted and everything, everything kind of cleared for her. So, which is why she was so passionate about the oils. But I was like, from an outside perspective, I was able to see, wait a second. I mean, the oils probably helped, but she had been doing so much work, meditation, journaling, right? All of these modalities, some that she got certified in, that I was able to go, oh my gosh, you've got a program to help women who are suffering from postpartum get out of it and live a happy, joyful life. All you need to do is put all those pieces, teach a module on meditation, journaling, yoga, exercise, nutrition, fitness, breathing. And she did tapping, EFT, right? The emotional freedom technique, and the oils. And those became the modules of her program. It also became the chapters of her book, because they're the one and the same. So that's the part that most people, when they think it's really hard, is that if you're already working in this space and following your client through a step-by-step system or procedure or process,
proprietary methodology, and
your methodology is the chapters of your book. So I always tell people, I share my story when I wrote Write and Grow Rich, because I started teaching the program while I was still a financial advisor, as I was transitioning out of that industry. So by the time I actually went to write the book that I teach people they should have the book for, which is ironic, I did it in this case backwards. I already had all the content sitting in my laptop.
Yes.
So like literally I put this together in less than 10 days. Well, no, sorry, 10 days from opening a Word document, gathering all of the teachings I was already teaching people how to do, packaging it up nice and pretty, doing the editing and formatting, to a box of books on my desk 10 days later.
Canada's Trade Accelerator Program is presented by the World Trade Centre Vancouver. It provides entrepreneurs access to Canada's top exporting advisors, resources, and contacts, and gives the ongoing training needed to become a successful export trader. Go to www.wtcvancouver.ca/tap and find out more. There's got to be a trigger point, and I think you've touched on it already, which is you're already, it's this chicken and the egg thing again. Write your book before you get into business. And part of the reason why I believe that might be the right timing, and if not, then now, today, is that it helps you gain confidence and clarity, and that blue ocean strategy that you've been talking about, that sets you apart from the competition right from get-go. So sometimes it's difficult, like you said, working with an impact coach, like you said, working with this woman who, thought she was selling essential oils. And yet
she had an amazing six-figure, she had a six-figure business inside her. And she didn't even see it. She was too close to it, right?
Too close to it.
Yeah.
But by putting it on paper, it helps you even gain confidence in yourself to be out there in the market. So
and quite literally, she was developing her program and her book at the same time, but we were still marketing her as the author of the upcoming book. So in the minds of her potential clients, she was already a published author, which is something that I teach. I feel like if there are other book coaches out there, something that I feel differentiates me from other people is I talk to people about the promotion right out of the gate. Like by the second or third class, we're creating a title, a subtitle, and we're laying up a book cover graphically so that you can actually put that out on social media and on your website and out to the universe that you're the author of an upcoming book called Write and Grow Rich, or whatever your title happens to be. And I'll tell you what, people don't even hear the upcoming part. All they hear is author of a book. And you get the instant credibility before you've even written one word.
Well, and the credibility and authority is really just one marketing problem that so many people have. What are some of the other marketing problems that a book solves?
Right. So the credibility and authority piece, it gets solved by the book.
Yeah.
The other thing, and we've touched upon them, a couple of them, briefly through this conversation, but attraction marketing is so much better than, like, have you ever had to chase clients down and do 7 or 8 follow-ups? And just the torture of that is just, I think back to my days of having to chase people down to sit down for an insurance conversation. Why? Because they don't want to have it. But with a book, I'll tell you right now, if somebody says, oh, hey, Kim, I want a copy of that book, guess what they've just done?
Yes.
They've identified themselves by raising their hand and saying, I want that. Now I know there's somebody interested in this topic matter. It means I shorten the sales cycle. I get them coming to me instead of me chasing them. And now when I'm having an enrollment conversation with them, I can talk to them. And I know I'm talking to somebody who's interested in the topic matter. And, I collapse timeframes by doing that. So that's one, attraction. Mm-hmm. Credibility, authority was number 2. We've already talked about number 3, which is standing out from the crowd. That differentiation piece is critical, especially today as we're moving to an online world, which is busy. We're being bombarded with marketing messages. You need to have a way to stand out from the crowd. And I'll tell you, you'll see it now. If you haven't seen it already, you'll get on Facebook and you'll see that classic free plus shipping book funnel, and all right.
Totally. Yeah.
All the experts have it, but why all those experts and gurus have it? Because it works.
Right.
So it again, somebody that says, yes, I want the book and is willing to pay $7 for the shipping. Now they're even a more qualified lead. They're not just any lead, they're a qualified lead. And that changes the game when you're talking about closing sales. Mm-hmm. So that's that one. Longevity. I call it, pun intended, shelf life.
Yes.
Because nobody throws out a book. You're creating this marketing piece that literally sits on someone's shelf, unlike your brochure, your business card, or your flyer that gets hucked in the garbage or into the recycling, along with everything else that shows up in the mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really powerful thing. And the shelf life also, another way that it has longer shelf life is that it's repurposable content. So when you gather it all in a book, now all of a sudden, if you're blocked by like, oh, what am I going to post on social media today? Or what am I going to write that blog about? You literally can just keep recycling all of your book material. You just start from chapter 1 to chapter 10. And then at chapter 10, you start back at chapter 1 and you just keep repurposing that content into blogs, articles, videos. It's just such a powerful tool to
and I'm going to add to your shelf life conversation with, to me, it's which is typically something I would do is I repurpose books that I know that I've read that I had an impact for me, and I gift them. Right. So
absolutely,
if I think to myself, so suddenly you're building your champions and ambassador network just through the sharing of the book as well with people that you know, like, and trust, and who know will get value from the book.
And I love that you said that, because people will ask me like, strategies for selling more books on Amazon. And I'm like, it's not about selling books. The expression I use is selling books, trying to get rich selling books is not what this strategy is all about. Selling books is like stepping over dollars to pick up nickels, because I don't care about selling a $10 book.
Yes.
I care about selling $1,000 program or course.
Yes.
So this is what I teach in the program, is that it's all about positioning yourself as that expert. So people do business with you, because people will be like, well, I don't want to just give my book away. I'm like, give it away to as many people that will take it, because the people that want it are going to become your clients. So it's a powerful, powerful strategy. And the last thing I think it creates is an opportunity for visibility. I mean, look at us. We're sitting here today. We met on the podcast guest connect and collaborate meeting. Good old shout out to Michelle Abraham but books open doors to speaking opportunities like this. Yes. Not only on podcasts, but TV, radio. Most of it's online now. But the idea is you've got a guest list you need to fill. And so does every other podcast host. So does every other TV and radio station. Their producers are looking for expert content. They're looking for content from experts like you. Right. And if you have a book, you're beating a line to the door and jumping right to the front of that lineup.
That's very true. Well, and it comes down to, and a lot of 80% of what we've talked about today is mindset, right? The shift and the confidence and the positioning. 20% is actual business systems. So can you tap in, share a little bit about the actual process, right? The tips and tricks on distribution, how you get from writing it on your computer to having that box of books on your desk.
I love it. So my process is I call it my signature 5P process. So my 5 Ps: plan. So in the planning phase, we go through who is your target market client? What's the problem that keeps them up at night? What is their transformational result that you help them achieve? And so we can actually package it all up and be talking to the right person. Mm-hmm. Module 2 is the promote module, which I talked to you about earlier too. Mm-hmm. So it's all about getting the word out and positioning yourself as the expert, using that fact that you're writing a book right away to start building instant credibility and visibility and authority in your marketplace. Then we move into the 2 most boring modules, I think, because I'm not really that person. I'm a creative, in case you couldn't figure it out. But then we move into the produce and publish sections, which is where you're actually writing the book. I'm teaching you tips and tricks on how to get it out of your head faster. We do a lot of mind mapping exercises. There's, of course, all of the other parts that go into a book to make it look professional, like your legal page and your about you and the acknowledgements. And I go through all of the parts of a book that need to be there, and so that you look professional and you have a product that you're proud of when you're finished, and that doesn't look self-published, even though this is a self-publishing strategy. And then the last module, module number 5, which is the most fun one, is the profit module. So plan, promote, produce, publish, and profit. Because of course, the whole idea behind this is using it as a lead generation tool, a magical lead generation tool that attracts your best and highest paying client into your business like a magnet. So I share all the strategies, like how to do a book funnel, how to get speaking engagements, and all of those juicy tidbits that really start to, move the needle on your bank account and on the profitability of your business.
That's awesome. And so let's just say people are excited today. We're excited. We're thinking, oh, maybe I really do have a book in me. But I've got to ask, Kimberley, really, what's the risk of not tapping into your own greatness and, unleashing that golden nugget from with you into a book or into whatever format and potentially a book? But what's the risk of not tapping into that?
Angela, it's a really great question. And really the risk for me, if I can just be blunt about it, is I think life is just too short. Like, if you think this is something that you want to do, why not now? What are you waiting for?
Right.
I'll tell you a little quick story. Before I wrote my first book in 2015, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was 43 years old. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, like, what have I done with my life? If this is it, if cancer takes me out of the game, what have I done? What have I accomplished? What's the legacy that I'm going to leave behind? And quite frankly, to be absolutely transparent and honest, I was like, I'm a loser. I didn't feel like I had accomplished very much at all. I was living a mediocre life, sitting on the sidelines of the game of life. And I made a decision in that moment. I planted my flag and I said, if I get through this, that's it. I'm going to play the game big and I'm going to play to win. I'm getting off the sidelines and getting in the game, because you only get one shot at this thing called life. So, it's why I made the massive shift from, imagine this. I used to go to networking events and go, hi, my name is Kim, the financial advisor. I help you grow your wealth and blah, 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 to, hi, my name is Kim and I'm a book coach. Like, shit, if that is not a pivot. So if you're telling me, oh, I couldn't do that. I've been doing this other thing for 13 years. I'm telling you right now, life is too short to do things you don't want to do. And life is too short not to live into the greatness that you were born and put on this planet to achieve. And I
love one of the things that our goals today is, again, just, tapping into that, how and when to supersize your wealth, but also, you're working with clients that want to make a massive impact in the world, right? And add significant value. And so what a transformation in who you're working with, not just for yourself, but who you're working with. I think.
Oh my God, I'm working with people that are just high achievers. They are, they're excited. They are building businesses. Oh, the people that I've seen pivot in 2020. Oh, it just brings that just gave me goosebumps even just saying
Absolutely. I can just imagine.
I'm just in awe of the things that humans can do when placed under pressure. The resiliency, I'm talking placed under pressure like coal, like coal turning into diamonds, and people making changes that they never thought they would make, leaving jobs that they're miserable in and starting careers that they're passionate about. And kudos to all of those people. And if you're listening and you're one of those people that want to take another step and make this the year that, you live into your greatness and become a published author, maybe start a business, maybe, I encourage you to just do it. Do it.
Absolutely. Well, and we wanted to kind of wrap up with this absolute myth buster, right?
Yes.
What we want people to know after investing the time to listen to us today, what's that myth buster, Kim?
The myth buster is, I've shared it, I've dribbled it into the conversation while we've been having it. And is that most people think it's going to be the hardest thing they're going to do. It's going to take so much time and it's going to be, take effort and resources. And I'm telling you right now, it is quite literally the fastest, the easiest, and the most profitable asset you'll ever create for your business. It lives on in time. It becomes a legacy. And if I can do it in 10 days, and I'm not a writer, I was a financial advisor. If I can do it, you can do it. And I can show you how to do it is better yet.
Awesome. Well, and speaking of, how can people connect with you after today?
Oh, that's a great question. I would love for someone, if they want a little bit of a taste of how this might look like, maybe you'd like to join me on a little adventure. So,
Totally, I'm in.
yeah. So I'm actually holding a 7-day training adventure.
Okay.
So online, we usually see them now as challenges, but who wants another challenge in their life, right? I don't. But everybody wants to come along on a little adventure. So I'd love to have you hop into my Facebook group, take part in the training. You can find it there for free in my Facebook group, which is called From Zero to Marketing Hero. So happy to provide that link for you so you can drop it in the show notes. And by all means, come along with us on our next adventure on becoming a best-selling author.
Awesome. Once again, thanks, Kimberly Day, for joining us. How and when to use a book to supersize your wealth. It has been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you on your Facebook group.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
For BC entrepreneurs, Canada's Trade Accelerator Program has been successfully operated by the World Trade Center Vancouver since 2017. The Trade Accelerator Program gives BC-based businesses the training and support needed to become a successful exporter. Go to www.wtcvancouver.ca/tap and find out more.